Welcome back, you beautiful people. Whether you are riding your bike fast, slow, with style, uphill or downhill, whatever type of riding you like to do, there's always a way to ride further if you know how. More riding, more bikes. What could be better? Right, first things first, I don't know where to start. Might need a little bit of help from someone that is pretty keen on the stuff. Right, we got Annie last.
Hello.
Look, hey, Annie.
Hey.
Good to have you. Right, she is second in Marathon Worlds. That's nuts. Done Cape Epic. That is epic. And a few number of other things. British champ and oh my goodness me. So you got a few tips up your sleeve you can help us with.
Yeah,
Yeah?
for sure.
For this ride?
Definitely. Should we go get ready?
Yeah, that could be a good start. Yeah, just gotta get ready. Annie Last, a professional cross-country racer who rides for Lapia Mavic Unity Pro Team. She has been competing in XC World Cups and cyclocross racing for over 10 years. Annie is currently the British national champ in both short track and an Olympic cross-country racer. She's a Commonwealth Games gold medalist and also got a silver medal in the 2022 cross-country Marathon World Champs. Right, I know this first one and it's been prepared.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going out for a bike ride, especially when you're going for a longer one, you're probably going to get further from the house, further from the car. So making sure you're prepared is really important. So that's making sure you've got enough food, water, any spares you might need for your bike, multi-tool, stuff to fit the puncture, anything like that. Normally I'd make sure I've got a spare jacket or something to keep me warm in case the weather changes or you stood still for a while fixing that puncture, whatever it might be. And then normally mobile phones, just a good backup. You can let someone know where you are if you need to and put that emergency call in if it gets bad.
When it comes to me planning an epic ride, I like to sit down and meticulously plan out my route on commute just to make sure I don't really get lost out there somewhere where I'm not very familiar with. So making sure I know where there's going to be a stop for food or water or something that I need. Anyway, you ready to hit the road?
I'm ready to hit the
trails.
road. Which way?
I thought you planned it. You didn't plan it? It's nice this way. Oh, honey, I'm done in. We're about an hour of our ride in. Oh, what is it going to take for me to finish this ride?
Well, one of the most important things is that you fuel. So if you're riding for over 1.5 hours, over 2 hours, you need to make sure that you're eating and drinking.
Yeah, which I haven't got any fuel. I got water.
So you need to make sure you're getting some food in.
Yeah.
Having a drink.
Yes.
So we recommend every hour, like about 60 grams of carb, 500 mils of water. Just keeps your energy levels up. It means that you're going to be able to just keep riding. Out on a long ride. Got a few more hours to do.
Still got a few more. Can I eat this?
Yeah, go for it.
Can I have this? Yeah. Do you want half? You're right. Oh, save it for the next hour. So I've got to eat 40 to 60 grams, like a bar an hour.
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you got another bar? Because
Few in the pocket.
oh, lifesaver, lifesaver.
Yeah, so you aim for like 40 to 60 grams an hour, and like we said, about 500 mils an hour if you want to stay well fueled and keep going. Obviously, if it's a shorter ride, you can get away with it, but to keep your body working optimally, that's kind of what you need to be consuming.
Wow. Okay, so little and often is key.
Yeah.
Different story. Now, when you go racing, I bet the intake is incredible. So like carbs and fluids, what is your typical intake?
Yeah, so when you're racing, you kind of can go up to about 90 grams of carb an hour, which is a lot. And fluids, there's a limit to what you can take on, I guess, when you're racing. But yeah, we're looking for at least kind of 500 mil an hour, I guess. But when you race, you think you're drinking a bottle and you've lost half of it, and yeah, you just have to try and maximise what you can get.
Well, we're not going to be losing any liquid today, maybe in sweat, but it's cold. Ready? Back
Let's
up
go.
to the top. God, that means if you're in a marathon, you've got to eat so much to get in, hey? Like tons of food.
Yeah, you've got to plan and think pretty hard about what you're eating.
Yeah.
It's not probably as much as you think. You can, in a bottle, you can have kind of 80 grams of carb in a bottle.
Okay.
So that and a gel or half a bar.
Yeah.
Kind of in an hour, and you're getting what you need. But you have to train your body to be able to digest and then use that amount of carb. Otherwise, it doesn't make you feel too great.
Do you feel bloated and full and...
Yeah, if you...
I've had that before. I've had that before.
Yeah, if your stomach's not used to it, it's not going to work for you.
Oh, no, I don't like that. Anyway, right. There's this hefty-ass climb coming up.
Got a long climb coming.
See you at the top.
Sounds good.
Yeah, got it. Race you.
Doing all right?
Yeah, all right, honey. Oh my gosh. Oh. Yeah.
See you at the top. That brings us on to pacing. When you've got a long ride, you want to make sure that you're not digging into your energy reserve too deep, too many times. Otherwise, you struggle a little bit towards the end of the ride and towards the end of the climb. All good?
Really good, yeah.
Nice level pacing at that climb.
Really good. I went off like a steam train. I don't know why I did that. Oh.
So yeah, on your long rides, it's really important to keep a nice, consistent pace because you need to be able to repeat it up all your climbs and repeat it for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, however many hours you're out for. So you're looking for a pace where you can kind of hold a bit of a conversation.
Yeah, not have a conversation.
Yeah. And if you've got a power meter or a heart rate monitor, it's a really good tool to keep you kind of at a pace that you know you can consistently deliver to make sure you manage to finish your ride.
I got my breath back. I like the conversation bit.
Yeah.
If you're having a conversation on a climb, it means you're in the right zone. If you're not, holy moly, you're gonna suffer.
Which is fine for a short ride, or if you're doing like short intervals, but if you're just out for a long ride, then
don't do that.
It's not always the best way to make it back to the car.
No, don't do that. Talk about the car. How far? We're like miles in.
We're I reckon a good quarter of the way in by now. So talking about pacing, if you're out for some long rides, you're going to have quite a few climbs. So if you've got short, steep climbs, normally you can just carry your speed, use a bit of power, punch up them, a little bit of a sprint, Blake's favourite. But if you've got longer climbs, then pacing comes into it because you need to be able to make sure you've got enough energy and enough power to get from the bottom all the way to the top. So if you're thinking about pacing on a long climb, you want to be thinking about keeping your cadence between kind of 80 to 90 RPM. You want to be thinking about your gear selection, making sure you're as efficient as possible and not wasting any energy by having too hard a gear, too easy a gear. You want to think about your breathing, relaxed upper body, and normally if it's starting to get a little bit tough, if you look ahead, pick some little mini goals along the way to that tree, to that corner. Just helps keep you focused and keep chipping away at the next bit until you get to the top.
Pacing yourself also comes into play when you're descending. You don't want to set off on every single descent like you're racing the World Cup downhill because you'll pay for it later on in that long ride. You just want to be riding smooth through the trail, looking ahead. Concentrate on your breathing, taking the smooth line. You don't want to be tensing up and thrashing at the pedals at every single turn you come to. Because when you find yourself on a big long ride like I am now with Annie last, we're out there, far out there, and if I start thrashing down some downhill, you'll get mechanical, and it's a hell of a walk back home to the van. So stay smooth, ride safe, because you're in for the long haul, not the short one, like I'm used to. Anyway, good catch, Annie. She's down there somewhere.
So, training.
Training, yeah, that's a good one because you can't expect to go for a 60k ride or a big epic ride without having the mileage built into those legs. If you go for a 10k ride, you can't just go straight out for a big epic ride. Now, how do you train especially you, for an XC ride, like an XC marathon, or even more epic, the Cape Epic? How do you train for that?
So you do need to get the miles in, basically. If you, like, we've got the luxury of being able to train all day, every day if you want to. It's quite easy to get lots of long rides in, back-to-back days of long rides, and also kind of some shorter rides with some higher intensity, because that's really important as well. You don't, when you're mountain biking, you're not just riding on the flat, one pace constantly. You have got to go hard up the hills, and then you've got a bit of recovery down hills. But yeah, if you can, you spend a lot of time on your bike.
Exactly.
If you work...
Exactly. Like, I've got a question for you. It's like, how many miles a week would you do for training?
People always ask how many miles I do, and we always do it on time, because I guess,
so
like,
how many
not every
hours?
Like, I guess a big week, bearing in mind I normally race like 90 minutes, is probably, like, a big week's like 30 hours.
30
But
hour
that's
week.
not a normal week at all.
No.
That's like a lot of endurance work.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really depends on what sort of work you're doing.
Exactly. So now talk about work. Now, for average person like myself, I do work in an office, or most people work in the office. They wouldn't have 30 hours to go and ride a bike all day, every day. Now, how, for me, what would you recommend me doing? Like, go for punchy ones, longer ones in the weekend? I don't know.
So I think the best thing to do if you've got limited time in the week is 1, 2, maybe 3 rides in the week, and you can keep them really quite short and a bit more intense. So it might just be, right, get out for an hour's blast in your local woods, or if you're into a bit of turbo work, maybe you could, in 30 minutes, you can do some real good work that's going to really improve your fitness. And then once a week at the weekend, if you can get a long ride in, that's really helpful. So you can definitely get fit and get ready for long distance like races or rides, whatever it is that you want to do, without having to do all those hours.
My training is like, I would cycle to the office, and that is 30 minutes to get to the office and 30 back. But it's like downhill there, and it's uphill back. So that's my training I would do if I were to go in the week.
But that's plenty. Like, if you've got 30 minutes uphill back, it's
cool.
It's a good amount of work.
Perfect, isn't it? That was a good ride. Thanks, Annie.
No
Thanks for
problem.
actually giving me a few tips to make my ride go longer and go riding further, and giving us a few tips as well.
Well, thanks for a good bike ride. But yeah, just remember, pace yourself, keep well fueled, and enjoy riding your bike.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Enjoy riding your bike. All right, talk about fueling. Cup of tea.
A cake.
Bit of cake. Come on then.